understands that we're going to get semi-follower moments, but they're going to become more and more calm-like. They're going to become more and more follower moments. So here, and it's the transition too. So as you see me flexing the leash, but you'll see me pushing on her back, getting bigger. So you'll see her calm out here even more as I'm pushing on her shoulder blades. See the more of the calmness? Now watch. See her drawing up, the shakiness starts going away here a little bit. It's not being cold, it's stress. So as I'm pushing on her back, what I'm saying is I'm not thinking any thought other than what I want and what I own. So what I'm telling her, what I'm doing is I'm saying everything comes through me, through Pack Leader. Everything comes through me, no matter what it is. So you can eat the food, but I own it. So if I want to eat it first, then that's what's going to happen. You know, I don't particularly like dog food, but you could put, but that's how, but the whole thing is we have to approach this in a way that represents where they're at right now. I mean, the whole thing with this creating these follower moments is that we want to make it so everybody wins. I mean, the whole thing is I'm not just taking her right up to the food dish, because that's flooding her, that's overloading her, that's too, she's right on top of it, and then when I'm putting authority onto her, it's not going to be very helpful, because she's going to really not like it. I mean, the whole thing with authority and her, how she's expressing herself, in a human term, it's not like it. It's challenge, now represents challenge. So, and with hope, it takes the form of almost like a stress reaction. You'll see her, but I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just thinking about getting my moments, getting better moments. So here, you can see, hey, you see her just calming out. But what I'm trying to do is extend the moment. So I'm pushing here. When you see me pushing on her shoulder blade, it's not meant to be hard. I'm not trying to hurt her. I'm pulling up with the leash at the same time. It's not meant to choke her, but she definitely feels authority. But you can see her, as I do this, I call it a defined moment with authority, you can see her definitely drawing up into me. Now as I go forward here again, I'm going to go forward, but as she starts to move forward, put her back right away. I mean, if I try to go and give her too much leash length, she's already thinking it's not going to be helpful again, because I've released her psychologically. She's already starting to get on top of that food dish too soon. So right here, it's just like baby steps. A few steps forward, stop. A few steps forward, stop, and then go back to flexing the leash a little bit. But again, think about the psychological part of this, is that both blend together. The psychological and physical come together in such a way that it creates more hold over her. It creates these moments are more defined. So both have to have meaning. So it's power of my mind. So all I'm saying is I'm doing this is that I'm basically saying I own. All the time. I own. I own. I own. I own. But not aggressive. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm just assertive. And then as I go back to push on her shoulder blades and her back again, I go back to flexing this leash a little bit. And again, these little micro moments I'm creating too. It's thought. It's how she's thinking. It's expression. So as she's thinking, contaminated again, her thought process is contaminated. She's thinking. Over time, she's going to transition out of this. It's just micro moments. And you can see as the dog starts to change, the fixation levels start to decrease. So as she starts to approach the food dish, she already knows what I'm doing. She already feels it. Her fixation levels will decrease. She's not going to focus right on it. Okay, at first the dog will just, you can tell everything has meaning, and all behavior has meaning. And you see a dog that's expressing a certain behavior, it's not independent of the roles. I mean, everything has meaning. Someone that gets blindsided with an incident with a dog bites somebody or does something, and with the owner present, dogs elevate up in those high levels, that indicates only one thing, those levels, when they're really high. A dog is expressing a dominant state of being. So, especially if it's a friend or a person approaching, that I'm giving off that friend energy, that person, that dog that is expressing those states of mind, well, they won't just protect the yard, they'll bite everybody. So here it's the same thing. Her thinking isn't just with the food dish, with hope. It's going to be other areas too. Unless it's been going on for so long, I may still create role change, but then I'll still have behavioral issues. It could be over a food dish. But I still have to approach it the same way. I have to create, because she's firmly locked in this way of thinking. So put her to her head, then right, stop. So as you see me doing this, This may take 20 minutes to get to the food dish. Every day, though, I'm going to make more and more. I'm going to influence more and more how she's thinking about this. Hey, so here you can see her. She sees it a little more. She's closer to it. Then she's going to start to smell it. You know, dogs live in the world. They use their nose like they do, like we do our eyes. So she's starting to smell it. But right away, as soon as I get my higher moment on her, with pushing on her back, I start flexing right away. Okay, so there's no delay. There's no psychological release point. Okay, I'm just going. So here, you can see her lean. So it's like a runner ready to go. I mean, again, the runner that's in a race is preparing to propel themselves forward. They're thinking already of the race. The dog's the same way. You see a dog start to lean out, and then how they move and how they go a certain way. That's their thinking. They're already thinking about, they're not with me anymore. They're already at the dish or somewhere else. So, therefore, to change that, we have to assert ourselves. I call it pure form demand. Again, without an expectation of a treat or petting or anything, because then they may just be getting something they want.
And this is also 3 years of this as well.
3 years. So you're looking at a behavior that is going to change. But we're doing it in a way that, as I'm just treating this as a psychological exercise. She's still going to eat, at times, but I need to start to surround this dish or whatever it is. It could be the couch, it could be anything, with an ownership type of authority. You start to change how she thinks. And that's where this whole conditioning thing comes in. People talk about conditioning a dog to do something through food or treats. I don't get into that because it's pure. We need to create role change with a pure form approach first, which means that you're just doing it because I'm pack leader. You're just doing it. And the dominant dog isn't going to like it. I mean, they're going to resist that on certain levels and maybe high levels. So, again, we want to make sure that everybody wins. So, which means that then after we can entertain or start to condition the dog to do things we want, because the focus is already there from pure form. We've already created role change the right way. But our personalities, when we discuss this, play such a big role. And I say again, devices and all that stuff get more credit than they deserve. I've created it through my mind. So people that have that natural ability to balance dogs out unknowingly, they've done it through the power of their mind, through interaction, how they're expressing themselves. That dog feels that. So here, so even if I'm talking to you or I'm talking to somebody, I'm still have hold over her. So I'll be here and peripherally, I'll still be looking down at her. I'll still be in tune with her. So even this leash is a communication tool. So as I'm doing this technique, you'll see a little slack. I'm not just holding it tight like this constantly. There's a little slack here on the line so that as she moves a certain way, I can feel when I need to flex. Okay, so right here, you can tell when she's about to go ahead a little bit, I'm catching those moments, and then more above those moments. So I'm all over her basically. But again, like the tide coming in and out, I'm not trying to hold her in a sit position. You have to kind of understand that here, it's not going to be a perfect, these moments, especially where she's at, but you'll see, if you really look at her and how she's thinking now, you'll see change start to go on. She's already starting to release this total fixation on the food dish bowl because I'm starting to put authority onto her. And what happens, it creates certainty. That dominant role creates uncertainty. So here, give it forward. Now, as I get closer and closer to this food dish bowl, I created the framework back there. I started back where I needed to because just as she started to think these unhealthy, dominant ownership thoughts based on what she wanted, I mean, that's what the dominant dog is. Dominant dogs won't listen. The dog doesn't listen to the owner through voice and all that. Well, they don't see us that way. We didn't create anything. We're just trying to do something. She may respond. Even the dominant dog, I might yell at the dominant dog, and they might appear to respond, but still, it's fight or flight. They're avoiding me. That's why with this method, it's important. We need to get a hold of them directly on the leash, and you don't need the leash. We just hook our fingers into her collar, and then our arm becomes the leash. Our arm and our fingers.